It's Open House Thursday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Morayo. For Labi Burn, as always, I have the ladies with me. Wait, get in the building.
Yeah, you're popping.
Yesterday, it's been popping. I love it.
I always had it. I just always abandoned it there. So now that the black one had issues, I now had to wear this.
Beautiful.
Good morning.
Hi,
Good morning.
Auntie, where's your glasses?
I don't need my glasses to see, only to read.
To read. Oh, okay.
I don't. They're here
Since the surgery, right?
since the surgery.
Oh.
How are you doing?
I'm fine. Hey,
have
on
juice.
Tuesday. Well, honestly, I don't know whether we have government in Ogun State or we don't.
This government go here.
When I was going home, one gas tanker, a big gas transporter, had crashed into some buildings, blocked the whole road.
And
I was there for 2 hours
my
like
Lord.
this. Because I wanted to go and pass Lambe. If you see that Lambe, it was as if I was going on safari.
Oh,
My poor car. Then I had bought food, chicken and all these things. So all my car is stinking right now.
oh, they them
And they defrosted in my car.
Fresh fish, fresh chicken. Oh.
Chicken and fish.
Sorry.
So my car is stinking right now. Even if somebody, if they don't find that kind of person, they will not make sure that it doesn't happen again. Come on, they just destabilized everybody, and then they was go slow because engineer Lekon Kuti has not opened this road yet.
so thank you, because that was my own banter that we cannot call Minister Fashola now because Mr. Fashola is going to rest, but we have Engineer Leko Kuti to call. Usually, his own is on an appointment base. That's his,
Yeah,
it's not an appointment.
He's a
No, he's there.
He's a minister. So we can call because he gave us dates. The date has passed
He first gave us
3
December.
months.
He first gave us December.
Yes.
Before
Then
he now
they
moved it to
April.
April.
So May, June, April, May, like
What's
please.
happening?
We are now in June, almost in July.
So I got information like when they didn't release funds and all of that. You cannot really they can't turn themselves into money, but the hardship is so much. It's too much on people. This axis, we know we don't usually experience traffic. So when you now give us, we're like sports children that we're now having to deal with this crisis.
crazy.
We're going to just appeal to Lagos Ibadan
hurry
Expressway
up.
needs to be done. You know, something that can be done in 3 weeks is taking almost
very
a
long
year.
time, without
It is
explanation.
ridiculous.
undue hardship on your city.
Could it be the rains too?
No.
That is.
It's money.
No, it's
Release the money.
Is the road fixing that they're doing? And what they do, they close it. Sometimes they open it up.
You know, we have this platform is to call out. They should, if they give them the money,
Don't finish the banter time. I have
they
something.
will.
Exactly.
Oh, that's not even my banter. Sorry.
Thank
I'll
you.
say
No,
it.
you don't have banter.
Very,
again.
very fast.
Sweethearts,
Anna.
today is Expo and Trade Exhibition
Oh.
at Adeyemi Bero Auditorium. We're starting today. My stall is already there. My
Again.
girls are there. They are setting up. And when you come and shop at my stall, they will take you a picture and I will post you on my page.
Fantastic.
So please go and support me there, and you will see amazing African things to buy from different African countries. Just support my business. I hope to see
Address again, please.
You are supposed to send me the address.
Adeyemi Auditorium, Bero.
It's in
Adeyemi
Alausa.
Bero
Yeah,
Auditorium,
it's in
yes, in
Alausa.
Alausa. Yes, I'll send you the flyer. I'll send you the flyer.
Send me because me, I don't know anywhere.
Also,
just
that
drive.
also, I just turn to your right. All the way
Yeah.
there, you can't miss it.
Just put it in the Google map.
Alausa is a very big place.
No?
Google map.
And also has one entrance. You enter through that entrance, drive down, first turning your right, drive all the way to the bend. You see the auditorium on the right hand side.
Would you put it on Google Map? YK, let's
Google Map, that's
I
just
have
it.
a real estate
You
Zoom
have to go, it's
meeting
9:06.
this evening, 7 p.m. 7 p.m. Just
That
check
is
my
all
Instagram page.
we can take on
Check
this
my Instagram
segment.
You
page.
didn't tell us anything
No,
about
it's
it.
9:06.
Because
I have
it's taking
time.
all the time.
They're
But
taking
you're
all
looking
the time.
to
It's
Open
them.
House Thursday, Father in heaven. It's Open House Thursday. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Okay, we're going to start with the nation. Student loan plans spark controversy in universities. NBS discos raked in $247 billion in Q1. Imo to revisit Okorocha probe. Envoy reforms well received in UK. Makinde tips 6 commissioners to return. Ogbe to government. State police will end insecurity. What I told President, says Bill Gates. And Eco Rice enters market sales for 33,000 naira. Okay, we'll start with the major headline.
Yes, I have the major headlines. So, labor centers in the universities are divided over the student loan policy initiated by the federal government, which was supposed to begin in September. So, according to them, they said the policy has further deepened the division between the Congress of Nigerian University Academics, that's CONUA, and the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU. While CONUA is in support of the policy, ASU is saying that it's quite discriminatory, and they all give their reasons. So CONUA is saying that the schools, students are able to approach or finish up their education with the bank loans without interest, and then we'll not have issues of students who are leaving school because they are not able to complete their education. That, however, they found some discrepancies and some gray areas that need to be verified and clarified. And once that is done, the policy will be good to go. ASU, on the other hand, is saying that it's discriminatory, it's discriminating the poor from people who are just above, minimum wage, saying that, the policy has said that 500, if your parents are earning 500 in a year, that means you are qualified. If it's over 500, that means you're not qualified to access the loan. That means people who get paid minimum wage, which is 30,000 naira, get about 700 and something. That means they're disqualified from accessing that loan, and it will not work for the Nigerian populace. Our parents, on the other hand, are supporting the loan because it's more like a relief of the burden of paying fees for the people. They are also talking about the fact that when you graduate and finish your NYSC, you're supposed to be paying back in 2 years. CONUA is saying this will give an opportunity for government to employ those people who had gone through the loan so that they are able to pay back. ASU is saying it's not possible that they will have a lot of debts hanging on their head. So I think these gray areas, they need to really fine-tune.
Yeah, I mean, student loans across the world is not for everybody. Not everybody can afford it. Not everybody has access to it. So there is discrimination. You can't give loans to every single person because you have to ensure they have the ability to pay back.
Even the poor now.
So, well...
30,000 minimum wage, you are not able to access it because your money gets to like 700 and something.
Well, it's a conversation we'll have, but it's something worth looking into.
I think they need to fine-tune it. They have not fine-tuned it. They need to make it accessible.
Yes.
And they need to make sure that the Nigerian factor is not there, where I will sit on it and it's only my own relatives that will, So it's one thing to have good...
Envoy, let's talk about the fact that the... economic reforms of the federal government has been well received by international organizations, especially the fact that our president went to France. He was there to sign the 2-day Global Financial Pact Summit. He was there for 2 days, starting actually today. And the British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Richard Montgomery, who met with Vice President Kasim Shettima yesterday, said that the Nigeria is being looked at as a big opportunity. The envoy said that they had welcomed the development in the last 3 weeks by the president, and other countries such as Switzerland, America, France, and others are looking to have a meeting with President of Nigeria to see other opportunities that they can also key into. He said that Mr. President has taken some bold steps in the last few weeks, which has encouraged international community and seen Nigeria as a big opportunity to actually engage with.
Okay, I wanted to take the story, the one in red, about the 20 people that were burnt and killed in Plateau State.
Okay, yes, 20 people killed in Plateau attacks.
Yeah, the attacks were in Buai and Chisu in the Mangu local government, in the Mangu local of Benue State. They, I read it in 2 papers. One paper, Tribune, said that the people of the village had got wind that the thing was happening. It was going to happen. They had informed the authorities, but
nothing was done.
Some of them had even gone to go and wait. But the militias, they had heard that they were waiting for them, and some vigilantes had gone to wait for them. So they took another route when they got there. And, they decided to ransack the village, and some of them ran to the church to go and... That's where they went and caught them. Blocked one entrance here, one entrance and the back entrance. And then they now burnt the building.
Oh, God.
11 of them were burnt to death. Very, very sad. Then they now went to the other Chisu and then beat people and killed them, burned them to death. Meanwhile, somebody, whether the member of the State House was saying that no, they didn't hear, or they just heard that it was repelled.
Wow.
Meanwhile, they have the dead bodies to...
Really, really sad. Let's look at that story.
I'll take the story about Eco Rice. Lagos State launched this project. It was historic because it was the first product to be launched indigenously on the Lagos Commodity and Future Exchange. And it was launched at as a 5 billion, 32 metric tons per hour immortal rice mill in Ikorodu. Now the rice enters the market at 33,000 naira for 50 kg and is being promoted as a major initiative. I think that by the time we get to see it in the local market, we'll be happy about it. But according to what I'm reading in the papers, it is there's a fund to back it up, 30 billion private commodity note insurance program facilitated by Lagos State to ensure undisrupted paddy supply. Nima is always talking about the fact that we don't get enough paddies. So with the fact that there's already a processing mill in Imota, Ikorodu, and then we have funds for paddy supply, we should be able to get this rice coming in constantly, and maybe over time, a price might drop from 33,000 naira, which is the price it is being pegged at right now.
Okay, let's move on to the Punch. 2,000 vacancies open for APC faithful Tinubu's allies. Lagos rice value chain created 2,620 jobs, says Sanwo-Olu. Residents panic as bandits' reign of terror returns to Ondo. Labour fumes as Ramfak hikes politicians' salaries. Makinde elevates Ladoja, 10 other Ibadan high chiefs to Oba. Hearing continues in the Ezani's case on forfeited assets. Egbetokun plans tech-driven policing, improved welfare, and DSS Combs Bowers Abuja home extends probe to associates. Okay, which story are we starting with?
We do Ramfak.
Okay, let's do Ramfak.
The Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission, Ramfak, recommended an upward review in the basic salaries of political and judicial office holders. The chairman of the commission, Alhaji Muhammadu Shehu, represented by the Ramfak commissioner from Kebbi State, Mrs. Raki Atanko Ayuba, said this on Tuesday in Brenin, Kebbi, during the presentation of the reviewed remuneration package for political and judicial office holders to the state governor, Dr. Nasser Idris. And, commenting on the proposed salary increase, the organized labor described it as provocative because of the fuel subsidy removal pain that Nigerians were currently going through. The News Agency of Nigeria also said that the proposed review salary required legislation by the National and State Assemblies before they go ahead to implement it. And the last review was done in 2007, which led to the 2008 Act on the Remuneration of Political Office Holders. So it hasn't been done for some time. But now they had to consider the consumer price index of some selected basket of commodities, which has collectively grown by an average of 371% from 2008 to 2022. And so they have decided to, adjust this basic pay by 104% of what they are currently receiving. So there's a lot of backlash. When I was coming to work this morning, I was even listening to it on the radio, and people are saying that it seems like the government is not testing the pulse of the people. They cannot remove subsidy. They haven't even finished the negotiation on increasing minimum wage or not, and they are thinking of that this is not the right time for this. Even if they had that thought, it shouldn't even be in public space, because Nigerians will feel, a certain type of, it's very annoying that the government is looking at reviewing their own salaries upward, and then we are still discussing minimum wage from 30,000 to 150 or 200,000 fuel subsidy.
That's why it's important for us as our show to be able to segment federal government from Ramfak's recommendation. There are two different things. Let us not
of course.
Because Nigerians just say, oh, government wants to, but that's not it. Government has not come out to say, because if they wanted to, they would have seen a press release from the government in charge. So Ramfak is proposing. Ramfak that is in charge of Ramfak should be the one to be held accountable for this recommendation.
Can we talk about the last time this change, the Ramfak has reviewed? In 16 years, Ramfak hasn't done any review.
So why is it now that they remove subsidies? So there are different angles.
Because 16 years is a long time. They are due for a
understandably.
Okay, not now.
Understandably, but Nigerians are saying
whether they are due for a
They are not due, not now. They are here to serve. Let them serve first.
They have just
told us our topic.
It's not our topic.
Tighten our seatbelt.
And then you people are
in for a very
turbulent
ride. That is why we must always differentiate who is where
This
this
is coming from. Yes,
the
I
reporters
agree
are
with you.
different, and Nigerians must know the difference. If not,
Yes.
we just have this conversation around saying, "Oh, government is this."
But we are
know-
waiting
know
to
it's
hear from the
rampant.
government.
We know it's rampant because one of them was on TV defending it.
Yeah.
9:18,
And
we have to go
they
on a
have
break.
never.
When we come back, we'll continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing Punch. Let me take the story for the acting Inspector General of Police. So he had on Wednesday assumed office for the first time in Abuja, and he said on his watch, policing will be mostly technology-driven. He said that's going to improve the welfare of policemen in general. Yesterday, he was really specific in saying that Nigerian police force will strive for excellence, transparency, and accountability. Will include a technology-driven approach to leveraging other techniques to ensure effective and efficient resources. Going to what BC has mentioned yesterday, he said we'll introduce programs to strengthen the minds and hearts of every officer. We cater for their psychological and physical needs. We will secure the nation. So hopefully they're thinking of the mental examinations of our police officers, ensure that they have a better mental health, hopefully going forward. All right, another story in Punch.
I hope they look at their pensions too.
We discussed,
Welfare is part of what you said.
we discussed everything yesterday. So I have a story.
Should we move on? Let's move on to the
I have one from inside
Okay.
about this young lady on the Metro page in River State who was with her boyfriend, a barber popularly known as Otubong. And they were having some engagements when the guy slumped.
Eh?
What kind of engagement?
Engagement, no, ne? Engagement.
The other engagement.
The engagement that can give you heart attack.
Oh.
exercise, like normal exercise.
Okay. Lifting weights.
Yeah.
So when the thing happened, the woman just bailed because she died now. So she ran. Police now started looking for her. When she heard the police were looking for her, she now went to go and
Yes, present herself.
present herself. So they arrested her, and a lady, the vice chairman of the Center for Basic Rights Protection and Accountability Campaign, Afudoza Stephen says they shouldn't stigmatize her and they should carry out the investigations properly because she's the one that presented herself. They didn't have to look for her. So
Okay.
I
they heard that the guy took some enhancement drugs.
Yeah.
perform.
I think we need to discuss that thing because it tends to, there's a relationship between performance enhancement drugs and
Cardiac
having,
attack.
yes, and people don't know. I want to take the story of investigation into the suspended EFCC boss that Bawa is, the DSS visited his house in Abuja, in Jabi, and they also visited the office, I think it's the office at the EFCC headquarters in Jabi on Saturday to search. They had their search warrants to search the premises. They went to his house as well, met his wife and children, and searched the house to get whatever they feel would support their investigation. They said they also went to visit some of Bawa's close associates in the office who were invited for questioning this week, that they wanted to get information about the allegations of mismanagement, misappropriation, and diversion of profited assets sold under Bawa's watch. So these are the allegations against the EFCC former boss, and the DSS is conducting the investigation to bring up a case. They say the DSS is yet to charge him to court, but they are still carrying out their investigation to get enough evidence to help their case.
Daily Sun, appointment seekers intensify lobby follow Tinubu abroad. IPOB, Kano's councillors, Ekome Ejiofor not sacked. 190 applicants jostle for PTDF overseas scholarship in Southeast. Egbetokun assumes office as IGP, calls for synergy. Change of service chiefs, Afenifere expresses optimism of better security. Strengthening families, participants laud Latter-day Saints for organizing conference. Fuel subsidy removal, good for investment, says British envoy. And Imo government gets ultimatum to implement white paper indicting Okorocha. Let me take the major headlines. So ahead of the official announcement of the ministerial nominees by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, many key politicians have followed him to France with the hopes of lobbying him to ensure that they also get an appointment. According to the Constitution, both presidents and elected governors must provide the names of their commissioners and ministers within 60 days. So this means that the president and all governors must submit their names. And with barely 5 weeks left, everybody, according to this report, are trying to see what they can do to get nominated by the president. The Senate currently, according to the Sun, multiple sources said that former governors who are current senators are among lobbyists for ministerial slots. The source also listed 6 out of the 14 former governors serving as senators in the 10th National Assembly. He said that 90% of those lobbying for their jobs left office in May upon the expiration of their tenure. So we can expect that all the other governors who left office are all, so many of them just followed Oga to France. Now we have a bit of privacy. Yeah, how far now?
What can I get?
What can you do? What can you give to me? So we'll see how that goes.
I wouldn't even mind if they followed because they wanted to serve. Everybody is going for their own selfish reason. Please go. If you
really want to serve, you will not lobby.
Want to serve and turn this country around.
How would you assume it's for selfish reasons?
You will travel with your funds. If you want to serve, you will stay when you know your value.
You will stay here. You will know that your record.
So, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, my father's church, and the church I grew up in, organized a conference called Organizing and Strengthening Families Conference. Organizing the Strengthening Families Conference. And they had participants from all over the world coming there. It happened in Abuja International Conference Center. And they talked about the fact that they needed to strengthen families. So in the remark by the General Authority and President of Africa West Area Presidency, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, Gifford Nielsen, he said Africa is home to the world's largest youth population, with about 60% of the continent's people being below 25 years of age. And that is what they call a rising generation. So we love them and we have so much faith and hope for them. But they need to have the right tools. With the right tools, education, resources, and encouragement, these young people can begin to represent Africa positively for a better future. And the gift we can give to them, which was very important for me, is a stable and loving family. That's what we can give to them. And they try to encourage even government officials, to make policies that encourage parenthood, family. The church is big on families. They have a doctrine in the church that says...
We have a few minutes.
I have a story.
Go ahead.
Imo government. You wanted to take it? You can take it. Because
the NGO is called Sincere Concern Organization. They have given 1 month ultimatum. The Director General, Mrs. Olufunke Lemichi, said that the people of Imo, there's a white paper that was presented 2 years ago, and they haven't implemented it. The white paper indicted former Governor Owele Okorocha of 130 billion looted from the state coffers. They said himself and the people that he empowered are still working free. They don't want any of them to die before they get justice. They also said that there are people that the former governor is trying to install his person into power, and they don't want the person to get into power before they're able to. So that they want implementation of the white paper indicting the former governor of Imo State, so that the Imo people receive justice. That's
the 130 billion contracts were through phony contract awards, and they appropriate land to themselves. Okay. I hope it's not one of the people that have gone to France.
Vanguard, still clear of more borrowing, DMO cautions federal government. Ministerial slots, Tinubu may dump ex-governors, prefers technocrats, says source. Medical leave, Ondo deputy governor moves against Akeredolu. Tinubu Shetima governors, judges, others to get 114% salary increase, says Ramfak. That's what they call that thing. Whatever. My daughter excited. I'll see Burna Boy Rema in Nigeria, says Bill Gates. FGOK's reopening of Seme border for vehicle importation. Let's find another story. Kano governor reinstates anti-graft commission, bus suspended by Ganduje. Plateau, about 14 killed in night attack on 2 communities. Okay, which story are we taking in Vanguard?
We can do the reopening of the Seme border for imports. So the Lagos Director of Road Transport in the Ministry of Transportation, Ibrahim Musa, yesterday said that the federal government has approved the reopening of the Seme border for the importation of vehicles. And he was speaking at the Economic Community of West African States ECOWAS meeting organized between officials of Nigeria and Benin. He said the development followed the different complaints by freight forwarders operating at the Seme border. I think when the border was closed, they were out of business. They were not making any form of money. So they had appealed to the commission, and they had to, present the matter to the federal government. They looked at all the things that they said they wanted to be done, and now it's going to be open for them to reactivate the free movement of goods and services at the border. I don't know how this affects us, whether it's positive or negative, since we're looking to begin manufacturing now.
All right, so Bill Gates was in Nigeria. Many of you saw the pictures and videos. And while he was giving a speech yesterday, he was talking about the fact that his daughter was excited. His daughter, his 20-year-old daughter, Phoebe, was saying that she was excited that her father was going to Nigeria because she's going to get to see Burna Boy and Rema. According to him, he said, when my daughter Phoebe heard I was coming to Nigeria, she said, you're lucky because you get to see Burna Boy and Rema. Wow. He said, I had to remember the last time he came, he saw Davido and Wizkid. He had to look up. He said, I had to look them up because I'm so hip. The Gates noted that Nigeria was filled with creative minds, and that Afrobeats from Nigeria were popular everywhere. Stated further that they're going to also, that they can't help but mention the amazing creativity that goes on in Nigeria. So obviously, gradually, international community is seeing us. And
yeah, I wanted to take the frosty relationship between the governor, Rotimi Akeredolu, and his deputy, Lucky Ayedatiwa. Yeah, they said that fresh facts have emerged where he's trying to undermine the governor's authority, where he's saying he won't do the things that the governor, his schedule, and he says that whatever the governor earned is what he too should earn. And
he's currently sitting in for the governor now.
He's sitting in for the governor. But they said he's acting. But they said he's now asking to go into the treasury. This is by anonymous people.
This is Vanguard.
Political.
Also, we have to be careful because all these papers, they have ways they frame these stories. Because there's one story that was read in different ways and printed in different ways. So let's be careful. We'll try to get more information about this story because last time I read, he was saying that I'm working together with the governor and we're going to ensure that we continue.
Even in this story,
but that wasn't what came out
initially. He says it is rumors.
So
the Vanguard had put the story
first.
So framing all of them.
The people on his own side said they are rumors.
Okay, that's all we can.
Praying for the quick recovery of the governor.
That's all we can take on.
But you didn't let me finish.
No, they didn't let me finish before.
We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So it's Thursday, and on Thursdays we like to discuss family. It's our open house Thursday, issues relating to marriage, family, and lifestyle. And one story that caught our attention today was a woman who was on the pulpit and preaching about was part of her lessons, and she was saying that women shouldn't love a man. Don't marry the man you love. Marry the man you are able to submit to. According to the Bible, only a man is required to love his wife. A woman is not required to love, and she's required to be able to submit to the person. And obviously, this quote garnered quite a lot of responses on social media, and it was worth talking about because on this table we have discussed it several times in different ways. And one of the things I have said in the past that I've always said that, you know, all these mushy love is somewhat overrated. That the real thing is when you find somebody you can actually love. But some people believe in love. I remember talking to you back that I am a mushy person. I want to love. You know, we love. Love is important. But the truth is that as important as love is, and as we're growing older and we're looking back and we're trying to advise those who are coming behind us, and we're trying to say, do we still hold to that belief or that philosophy that you must actually feel the butterflies, you must actually be head over heels, you must actually feel that love to decide to marry a man? Or should we go by this woman's advice that, you know what, it's about who you are able to submit to, forget the little butterflies. Focus on, am I able to submit to this person? What are your thoughts on this conversation? You can call us on 081-270-536-8709-1390-7694. You can also tweet us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your view TVC so we can read the tweets.
You measured my.
I
okay,
remember
so
those days
for
now.
love.
I remember you used to say.
No, yeah, I would forever be for love because for me, there has to be all the types of love. You know, there must be that erotic love. You know, and there must be the agape love. There must be the love of I respect you love. So but what we tend to talk about is leave the mushy, the erotic love. You can always learn that. Leave the I'm in love with you. Focus on I'm going to submit to you. And it has put a lot of Christian women under undue pressure to take under the guise of submission. So while I hear her and I understand the importance of respecting one's husband, I would say that you don't discount love. You don't discount having that emotional attachment with your partner because you will go through the marriage will go through different seasons and you just remember how it used to make you feel. In that moment of anger, you would flash back to the emotional attachment you have to bring yourself into a state that is profitable. So let me go back to the question for the day. You don't need love. What you need is a man you can submit to. I think you can have all in one. I think you can find a man that fulfills his role as a man, that you can submit to him, and yet is a man that catches your fancy, is a man that totories you. When you see him, your body is doing giz-giz. I think if you can have the two in one, it's an amazing combination for a successful marriage. If you cannot have the two in one, then you can decide to go for only submission, but I would rather have the two in one.
Okay. So, I mean, I like how you put it because the truth is that there are different types of marriages. And all of them can still give you success. You can still be successful because we've had arranged marriages in the past where people say, okay, I'm arranged. I mean, it will take years. Eventually, you now respect the person. I mean, let me come to you. What are your thoughts on this? Is it that head over heels love? I can't eat, I can't sleep, I can't drink until I see him. Or, okay, he's here, he's doing his thing, he's providing for us, he's being a man, and I respect him.
Okay, so let me put it in the context where this woman started this conversation. She was picking it up from the Bible, where they instructed the man to love his wife and give his life, you know, as Christ did. And they instructed the woman to submit to the husband as the head of the wife, the head of the family, you know. And you know, sometimes when we pick concepts like this, we need to break it down to layman's terms, to real-life experiences. Now, what I've seen is when we had those matchmaking marriages back in the day, I've noticed that most of the marriages lasted longer than all of this. I fell in love head over heels, and then it hits the rock, and the love is not able to hold water. The love does not keep you in the relationship. You forget the love. In fact, the thin line between the love and hate that we practice these days, you forget it in a blink of an eye. The way you now start responding to the person, people will be wondering, I thought you people said you loved each other, you know? But we saw that the marriages that had two people who didn't know each other come together, they had to learn to, you know, begin to know each other. And once the man loves the wife, it gives the wife a conducive environment to submit. It makes submission more. Submission is actually a higher form of love. But you need that conducive environment or conducive atmosphere to be able to submit. So if you, the woman, is the first to love deeply, to love a man deeply, you will not get the man to be committed to you, because let me tell you how men are wired. A man will see the person they want to spend the rest of their life with, and they have conversations, and maybe in a space, they know. And when a man sets his eyes on a woman, that I love this person, I would like to share my life with this person, he never accepts his death that separates them. He stays there. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So if that man does not have his eyes set on you, he sets it on somebody else, no matter the love you give to him, his eyes will always be outside, because you are not the love of his life. I've seen people, men who have dated several people, and then they fall in love with this person, and all their friends are wondering, how did you change like this? You're not hanging out with us again. You're not drinking again. You're not doing this again, because he has fallen in love. And when that man falls in love, you, the woman, the way we are wired, we can love anybody. Once that environment is conducive, you will begin to love him. You begin to submit to him, because he makes it easy for you. So I think that's where this woman is trying to explain. And trust me, I advise young people. I'm going to say it here. I advise young people. Make sure, how I use my own words, I don't quote the Bible when I'm telling them this, but I tell them, make sure your husband loves you more than you love him. Trust me, you will enjoy your marriage. I have that experience. I've seen people around me with that experience, even elderly people around me with that experience. It makes things easy for you. But when it's the woman that is loving the most, God help you.
Well, I don't want us to generalize.
I'm not generalizing, you asked for my opinion, and I told you.
So in your own way of thinking, that's how it is. But it doesn't happen like that.
And the experiences I have seen around me, and the advice I would give to my own child. Because
so I get that, because there are other experiences. I could share my own experiences that when my husband and I came together, it wasn't head over heels. We're two adults, we're ready to say, you know what, I'm ready to get married. We came together, and we match made. We came together, and within a year we got married, and it grew. I mean, it was something that grew over the years.
You're on my side now. Yeah? You're on my side. You didn't fall. Hello.
What I'm saying, the point is that it wasn't as if one love was heavier than another love.
Know
it was both. I'm just saying that we don't know that either. So the point is that it grew over time, and both of us said, you know what, we're two adults, we're ready for this, let's take a plunge. And gradually we grew, and now we're 13 years or so, and it has grown stronger. So there are different scenarios, but that might be the most case scenarios. I can understand that. But so, Mike, let me come to you. Do you believe that
your 62 years experience?
Let me come to you. Do you think that women should love? Because the reason why I want to come to you, YK, because you know how these foreign movies make it look as if you have to fall in love. You know, you have to be thrown all over the place. When you're in the other room, you're flip, you're this, you're doing this, you're
hanging in the bathroom.
You know, all these
suspended
things,
from the ceiling.
And booze, you read all these things, and you watch movies. And a young person is aspiring to just find that, what's that? What they call them? The shining armor guy, the
knight in shining armor,
and shining armor to come sweep them off their feet. That's our desire, and a young girl is dreaming about that all her life. And suddenly someone now tells you, don't look for that. Focus on who you can submit to. And you're like, excuse me, I want love.
This advice, I wouldn't take it.
Okay.
I'm just, I believe in love. I believe in loving my partner. I believe in my partner loving me. I believe in us loving each other, mutual love. I don't believe in if a man loves me more than I love him, I will walk all over him. I will walk over him like a mat.
Yeah.
So
for you, it has to be equal.
It has to be equal, and it has to be. And she says it can be. That's
can never be.
Go ahead.
I'm not even arguing with her. That's why I said this topic, for me, I mean, it just shows to me the continued decadence in the country that we are living in. Because that is our mindset now. Now man, we go look after me. So you now go to a man that you can submit to because maybe he has more money, that he has enough money to look after you. Next thing, you are cheating on him because you have found one that is making your money do giz.
So I like that angle I can taking us to, because
Yeah.
if you don't marry somebody, if you focus on who he can submit to, some guy will flash maybe at 40 when your body is screaming. I will now flash and you're like,
And
oh my
you-
goodness.
Your own husband is at home doing foot mat. He's loving you more than you are loving him.
my
You don't say, hey, sit down, I'm coming, I'm going. You are going to meet your...
The one that is
the
doing
one
you
that they have
this.
just arrested inside hotel.
No, that one is not. It was just a meeting.
You have got to
It was
another
just a
level
meeting.
now.
No,
But-
We're hearing
I'm
different
just
angles.
saying,
Yes,
Which is
yes.
important, which is very important, which is why I said that you choose what sometimes we have been made to believe that we cannot have it all. So we now choose the safest available option.
Yeah.
So somebody will say, since you might not have love and someone you can submit, you might not have love and the person will love you back equally. Let's just go for the one that we can be sure of. That's us, bringing...
Compromise.
Yes, let's go for the one that I can submit to, a man that I can respect. No, what do I want? I want someone that would sweep me
hold
off
your
my
hand.
feet. I want someone that when he sees me outside, he's tapping everywhere as we are strolling. Me too, I'm grabbing when we are walking. Everything is just meow, it's just sweetie us like that. And it's 30 years after, and we are still sweetie ourselves like that. And it is possible for someone watching to aspire for that.
Right.
So I don't want anybody. And somebody else will say, well, at this stage of my life, I'm not looking for... I got married at 25, so please permit me. I was 22 when I met my husband. You might be 20...
So somebody maybe in her...
You might be 28
don't
or
know her
29
age.
or you're 35, and you're looking at yourself and saying, okay,
I've passed that level of...
Tokwe's template might not be ideal for me at this stage in my life. It might be more ideal for me to use Morayo's template. Let me see someone that I can respect, someone that both of us are committed to this thing called marriage. And he would give me his 100%, I will give it 100%. Over time, we would now romance and everything,
Love,
we work
everything
our way
will
through.
grow, yeah.
But you find the one that works for you.
Exactly.
It's good, though.
I have Ayola. Good morning, Ayola. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning, you're live.
All right, I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, it's been so long I'm listening to your program. I'm an addicted fan. In fact, my husband and I used to fight over your program. You know how much of that thing you used to watch except TV things? Maybe I give better things, but I will not listen to it. I'll keep watching.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I remember quickly what Auntie Yeni said, that she cannot date someone that is more in love to her than she is to him. I remember when I was in university, I had this guy. He's so much in love with me, like 80-20. At the end of the day, I broke up with him because I was irritated by the love. I was like, can I continue with this? Even if I want to go astray, or if I send his family away, will he be able to correct me? If I decide that, I want to be a bad wife, with this kind of love this guy has for me, he won't be able to correct me. He won't be able to tell me what I'm doing is bad, because even when he calls me at time and I need his call, if he says, why did you miss your call? I would just like, I'm sorry, we just okay, sorry. If you just beg me instantly, I'll be like, are you a man? If I'm shouting, you cannot even tell me to calm down. You are still begging me. At the end of the day, I just said, man, I can't go with this guy. You love this too much. You just spoil my life for me with love. So I ended up with somebody that actually the love was like 45, 55. It's not that smooth, but I'm still in the house and we are still enjoying.
Thank you
But
very
if I
much.
tell you that, guys,
Some of us are so used to trauma that when we see any semblance of peace, it icks us. We don't understand it. We don't know what to do with that peace. You see someone who loves you and treats you well, and I'm not saying that you should not have any form of feeling. That's not the thing, no. But you must be sure that the man loves you really well. What I see is a lot of women who work based on their own emotions. I'm so in love with him. I'm so in love with him. And then you get into the relationship and he disrespects you. He talks to you anyhow. You're walking on eggshells around him. You are so in love you cannot see. That's where I'm coming to. I'm not saying you should marry somebody you don't love. I married very young as well. I met him in the university. In fact, if you see us, when we went for your party, let me give you an instance. Our friend, Mr. Aduto, came to meet me and said, please, you people are outside. That is it all. And I've known this guy for 21 years. So what I'm saying is you must be sure as a woman that you're getting that love from the man to save you tomorrow. Because if his eyes are not set on you, if you're not the one that tickles his fancy, I'm talking about him now, because I know that for you, you can always make it work if it's someone that fits into your box. If he matches what you want in life, you can always make it work. But if he doesn't, if you don't tickle his fancy, you end up being traumatized in that relationship, because a man must go for what he wants.
Okay.
I'm saying this as a way of protection, because I've seen a lot of women in pain,
Right.
being the one who they are the ones that love the most. They are the ones that do all of the sacrifice. The man is not willing to compromise at all. No, hold on. And they say, but I love him. I love him.
To address what the last
I
caller
can't live
said.
without him.
I want to address what the last caller said. Yes, there are men who want to love, but unfortunately they feel that their wives or the woman will take advantage of them because they'll become a doormat, as YK has said. A lot of men are scared of, so they love it, but they don't show it. They keep it, and you now misinterpret that as, he's not really shame, but in his heart, he truly, truly does. But he's being careful because he doesn't want to be vulnerable, because he doesn't want to be disrespected.
So love is an action word. It's not about keeping it in his heart. Do you talk me down in public and you say you love me, you don't know how to show it? That's not love. So you, in the little, they may not be kissy like we are, but in the little things that they do, in the little ways that they boost your self-esteem, you're doing something, they are there to support you. See, when you were launching your book, your husband prayed for you. I nearly cried. I was so excited. He prayed for his wife. Some men will not even show up on that day. They will find somewhere to be, and they make excuses that they're not around, or they're doing something more important. But he took out his time to be with his wife. That's what I'm talking about. So please, hold on.
Listen. Because we have heard your points. Don't buttress it more and more and more. What I'm asking you now is, the woman is saying, don't marry for love. Just marry someone that will pay for you.
No, she say that.
And you can submit to. You will only submit to a man that is calling
Financially
you are not going to submit to a man who, if he's doing pushing
wheelbarrow.
Those people have wives, so
you will not submit to that one now. Because you have more money. You will just be telling.
No, not really.
So what I'm saying.
Mike is looking at it in a different way.
That's different from what I'm saying.
I'm looking at it.
It's different from what I'm saying.
Economic benefits.
That's not what I'm saying.
What the woman is saying.
Submission doesn't have to be economically.
No, it's the Bible that instructed it. Are you people not Christians again here?
Because what you are saying is, don't marry a man that will not that doesn't love you.
So what? Yes.
Wait, I have a caller.
Oh, you have a caller.
Okay, I have a caller. Maybe we should calm down a minute.
Calm down and get to
From Yola, I think I have Yinka. Good morning, Yinka. Thanks for calling.
Good morning.
Good morning. You're live.
I'm greeting all of you. I love you all.
Thank you.
Morayo, GC, software.
We love you too.
Thank you.
I so much love you all. This is my first time.
Welcome.
I'm calling you people every time I will call. No day that I will not watch you people. My children know, they will say, Mommy, your guests are on the show. I say, I love you all. I love you all.
Thank you.
And one important thing is that BC is my birthday gift.
Oh, wow.
And software is my husband's birthday gift. Yes. Since you people started this program, I started with you people.
God bless
Every time I will
you.
be
Thank
trying
you.
to you people, to get to you people, especially on my birthday and on software's birthday. I will say, let me meet these guys. Let them know that somebody somewhere that loves. I love you people. I
We love you right back.
Like
Today we are
what
blushing
you
on that.
people are discussing this morning. In fact, if you people want to start program, I will be arranging everything that I want to do. So that 9 o'clock
Auntie, thank you. We have to go.
I've been watching you people.
Thank
I say,
you.
I so much love you. All
you.
your programs, I say how I win. That I will just come one day, bam, into Lagos and come and see you people. I love you people. I love you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Let's go to a break. When we come back, we continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. I think I have Shegun holding on. Good morning, Shegun from London. You're live.
Thank you. Good
Thank
morning,
you, sir.
ladies.
Morning.
Yes, I am. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Right. I would like to agree with PC. You see, God is perfect. He's not an imperfect God. You see, when he says that we should love our wives, women, and that the women should respect the husbands, because he's a perfect God, he knows the way this works. If he doesn't mean it that way, he should have said, men love your wives and wives love your husbands. But he instead used the word respect or submit. As in Islam and in Christianity, or what we call the Abrahamic faith, it's like that. You see, when man really loves a woman, he will not be disrespectful to the woman. He will show everything that you think is positive emotion. Love, it should be there. Kindness, it should be there. And when a woman truly respects the husband and submits to the husband, eventually she will start having some gradual love for the man. But the most important thing is for the man to love the wife first. It is conditional. We have to. And then, by reciprocal gesture, the woman, through her respect and submission to the husband, will eventually grow to love the man as well. But it doesn't start the other way around. If you want the woman to respect the man the way the man respects the man, to love the man the way the man loves her, you will find a very difficult situation because we are not wired anatomically the same way.
Thank you very much, Shegun.
Let me say this about submission. When we talk about submission, a lot of times we don't understand the reason it is important for a woman to submit. And when women analyze it from the fact of, I'm giving up my authority, I'm giving up right to make a decision to my husband. But if you truly love someone and you respect the person, I respect your I know that you're making the decision out of love for our family, it will be very easy for me to submit. If we have mutual love, someone that I love and I respect, I will submit to the person. So I want to check what submission, the definition of submission in the dictionary, is the action of accepting or yielding to a superior force or to the will or authority of another person. It is essential that there must be one submitting to another in marriage. If not, there would be a clash of authority and a clash of will. So when a man says, okay, we are moving to, let's say we're moving to Ikeja from wherever we're living in, it shouldn't become a struggle and hustle of who is in charge. Out of submission, listening to where the person is going to, you will agree to the person's decision. You might argue your points, you might present your own strong reasons, let me use that word, for why you think this movement will not be beneficial to us. And if the person loves you, they will listen to you. So the submission part is not a case of it's either or. Right. It's not either or. It is that it is a collaborative effort. I'm loving and submissive to you.
I want to read this text from a friend of mine. His name is, I'll just use
initials.
Anonymous.
Alaji. Use Alaji to. He says, I once loved a woman who broke up with me because she said my love was too intense. She said the affection I had for her was too much and thought it was unreal. She went ahead to date and marry someone else because she doesn't want to be looking for me in every man out there. Now she's divorced, just like me, and says she needs that affection now more than ever. So, I was just going to say something else, because when we talk about submission and love, I remember my late ex-husband, may he so rest in peace. I chased him, he didn't chase me now. Mm-hmm. So obviously,
you loved him.
I was the one that loved him. But I was still the one that still carried my two left legs out of the marriage. Yeah, so there is no hard and fast rule to loving and submitting. If you love and respect a man, whether he loves you more or you love him more, you will submit however you want it.
Let's discuss the issue of promiscuity amongst married women, because many have argued that it's because many women went into marriage in submission to this person who they love and respect. Many years after, they find a man who lights up their flame. So the man who you submit to, maybe I don't want to put economic factor here, but he's somebody that, okay, he's good enough, he has a good job, decent job, both of you can grow up together and have great children together. And you hit your late 40s, 50s, and your body is firing, and you meet one boy somewhere, and then he likes you, and you're thinking, but I love my husband, but this person catches my fancy. So are we considering the fact that when we insist, I mean, I'm not trying to go against the Bible, but is it possible that we haven't considered the humanness of a woman, the anatomy of a woman that demands certain things at a certain period, which is biological? And that one, so that your submission or your respect for your husband
has to be a man that's...
So there's that part of it. So many women who have been promiscuous, it's probably because, oh God, that I submit and respect and love him, that I respect him, he's not giving me that thing, and I've found somebody else.
So let's not mix up this matter. There's what they call chemistry. You can have chemistry with somebody and not love the person. The sparks just hit.
Yeah.
And those are fleeting. Even in the love that you have married the person you love for the rest of your life, it is also fleeting. Some days the chemistry is there, before they touch you, you are melting. Other days it's not. According to your mood, your pattern, whatever is happening in the relationship, you are struggling you have conversations, you're looking at bills and all of that. It's not every day they touch you, your body lights up. Even in the, I love him so much, more than life itself. So there's chemistry, and it's not about, because you married somebody who you could submit to, you don't have chemistry for that person. You can actually find somebody who you can submit to and have chemistry for that person. That's what she was saying. Yes, you can find that. You can also find somebody you have chemistry with, and tomorrow you have chemistry with another person. The way the world is wired, there is not black and white. The only thing that now saves the man, so let me tell you how the two things play out. When the woman finds chemistry outside, and the woman is in love with the husband, normal love with the husband, she may find a way to, push that aside. When the man finds chemistry outside and the man is not as deeply in love with the wife, he can go from there.
Okay, let me
but if he is really deep, like this person ticks everything, I am in love with this person, he will struggle to push that other person aside because his heart, the way men don't jump into love, they are deliberate in their love, and once they get it, they get it. Okay. Except the woman now, does anyhow, or marriage crumbles and everything.
Let me take this call.
Save yourself the stress of...
Afolawe, thanks for calling. Sorry for keeping you. Oh, I do apologize. But you see, in addition to what you said, there's a part of, if you go biblical now, that you're supposed to actually suppress the desires of the flesh. So even though you entered with submission, and you're getting to that stage where your body is screaming and your guy is not doing it, you as a Christian are supposed to suppress it the best you can. Suppress, kill it. But some people are not able to kill it because they've not really had that good relationship with God. Let me not get into
It's not an excuse.
Yeah.
This is an excuse.
The thing is, I listened to, Teddy Babyface did a video, I think it was about 2 days ago, and he was talking about marriage and relationship, and he said that his father told him that if you eat your best food, so you got your best food, and you now eat your best food for 4 days, breakfast, lunch, dinner, it will tire you. So that what makes people faithful to marriage is the fear of God, is the fear of God, respect for God, and not really the fear of the consequence of what will happen to you. There's an element of fear for my partner. My partner might just walk away, or I don't want to lose you. But in most cases, it is out of that fear and respect, reverence for God, that would make you be faithful in marriage. Same thing with if you marry someone that you love. A man marries, let's say the man is head over heels, he's 100% in love, the woman is just 10%. I don't know how people, the callers have been measuring their 45% to 55% and 80%. I don't get it. I feel like if you're in love, you are 100%. You bring your all. Your partner too brings their all. But let's even say that the woman did not bring her all and the man was the one bringing 100%. At a point in time, life would happen. If there is no respect and fear for God, he will step out of that marriage. So the submission that they're asking women to submit in marriage or in the Bible cannot happen if you don't love God. So when I see my husband and I'm submitting to him, even when I feel he's making a silly decision, I just look at the God in him and respect the God in him. And I will submit not just to him, but out of respect and submission to God, I will submit to him. So it's the God factor that would lead to true submission in most cases.
Asalagwe is back. Thanks for calling.
I don't even understand what you just said.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, a first-time caller, a long-time listener,
The fear of God. Why?
a long-time follower.
Fear of God.
Wow,
Thank you,
I've been following these people for long.
Thank
Thank you very much. Sister YK, 62 look good in you. I greet you, man.
Thank you.
Sister Morayo, well done, man. I could remember in 2018, you people have this kind of discussion when you called for Valentine. 2018, I was among the people that visited your station. This 50-50 discussion it came up, and I told it in my social media and asked a lot of questions over it to see other people's reaction. It's supposed to be 60-40. 60 goes to the husband, while 40 goes to the wife. But if you should allow your wife to love you more than the way you do, it's going to be a problem to her in old age. So it's better for the husband to have much love for the wife than the husband. Yeah. And this show, when I was on depression, this show helped me so much when I was having challenges.
For real?
I told Sister Yenny that I would like to visit this show and express my feelings to people. When I was passing through depression, this show gave me energy to move on.
Wow.
And I move on. Yes, then I could remember if I married 2013, I started watching the show since 2013 before I ever got married. Up to date, I keep on with the show. So I would like one of these days to come and express myself. When I was having issue with my place of work, having issue with lasso, this show give me the energy to keep moving in life. Now I'm strong. I'm a CEO on my own. So thank you very much.
Thank you,
God
Mr.
bless
Salagwe.
your view. 10 years anniversary. More years to come to your view.
Amen.
More grace to your view. More grace to your view. What happened to Lima, my Muslim sister?
She's
resting.
She's resting right now.
Oh, she's not pregnant. My God to everyone. Sister Yemi.
All right, let's go on a break. When we come back, I think we can wrap up on this. I mean, the truth is that, I think I'd like to wrap up with how Tokwe started. There's nothing wrong in you getting a little bit of everything. So you have a man who's head over heels over you, great. If you also want to love, it's always good to love, but it's also important that you also marry somebody you can totally, completely submit to. Because whether we like it or not, a little bit of everything works best. Some scenarios don't have that, and they're still successful. Other scenarios have the lovey-dovey scenarios, and they're still successful. So I guess it depends on how, what comes your way, and you have to just be present in what your own experiences are and make the best of it. I think that's all we can take on this, but I'm told that we still have more callers. Let me just get a few more before we wrap up. Hello, good morning. All right, that's all we can take on this segment. See you next in a moment. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. All right, so there's another story that caught our attention on social media, and we thought it was important to discuss this. As I said, Thursdays are days we discuss family and relationships. So, pastor, this is a story from a pastor, Pastor Osazua, tackles women in their 30s who are still dating men without purpose. According to him, young women in their 30s dating and then taking selfies, posting it on Facebook, they are dating without purpose. And obviously, this statement has been met with mixed reactions, saying, some are saying that the pastor has no right to put undue pressure on women to get married because society makes it feel as if once a woman is a certain age, she should get married. Others are saying he might be right. You know, when you're a certain age, it shouldn't be about just having fun and dating. It should be about being serious and settling down. What are your thoughts on this? Because I have a few friends who are in that space, and every single relationship is serious for them. But for whatever reason, if the men aren't coming, they have to have lives. They have to live their lives. They're going to take selfies. They're going to party. They're going to travel. So you can't tell somebody to put a hold on their life just because the man isn't coming. What are your thoughts on this? Because there's so many angles to this. You can call us on 081-270-53687, 091-390-76948. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your view TVC so we can read your tweet. We're trying so hard not to continue this stigma. But when you hear somebody on the pulpit telling you that you shouldn't be taking selfies at a certain age.
Are they going to play the video?
I don't know if they're going to play the video, but what are your thoughts on this?
And to say what's on your mind.
Okay, let me say what's on my mind. When we discussed it during the break, I didn't want to say it, but BC has been attacking me that I should say it the way it is. It might not work for everybody, but for me, when I know what I want and I know what I want to achieve, I'm not going to play around. I didn't date just to for dating because I want to know you. I don't want to know you. I want to marry. So if I meet somebody, I quickly did a mental checklist. I wasn't even conscious of it. When I think about it now, I had an unconscious competence for sifting out unserious men. Very, very fast. If I meet you within the first 2 hours of me spending with you, I will know where you are going to, and I'll quickly X you. So I was not interested in just dating, selfie, taking picture, posting. I did not want to be around people just for dating's sake. I wanted to know, can I marry this person? If I can marry you, we will date. If you don't talk around marriage early enough, I move. And lucky enough for me, I say just...
But many have met this nonsense with pressure. A man will say, I saw the woman, she was clear she wanted to get married. Because back then, it might not have been so prevalent. But today, if a young girl goes straight to the point, hit the nail on the head, or maybe start having an interview, a girl is already feeling like, Uncle Auntie, from hello, you're already planning wedding already.
No, there's a difference. There's a difference. There's a difference. So you must understand who you are. You understand the value I bring you to the table. Yeah. And you understand that anybody that I'm in a relationship with, I'm an asset to that person. If you are not ready, if you are not man enough to make up your mind, don't delay me. Don't reduce, don't keep me from being able to, don't padlock me. Don't hold me back from being able to show off this asset I carry to other people that are ready. So what the pastor is saying, and I want them to play the video, is that you are a 40-something-year-old woman. You are single. You know you're an asset. You are doing selfie with one man. You're dating him for 5 years. What exactly are you doing? Don't let, the pastor doesn't need to, he used some strong language. And I don't want to put anybody under pressure. But this was my template. It's the template I will prescribe to anybody. What are you doing? I said a conversation in my office with one of my staff. I said, babe, you have been wearing engagement rings since last year. What are you doing? What's delaying you? You must be purpose-driven. I'm a purpose-driven person, and I take everything as a project. So marriage too was a project for me. Before actually the new year, the year I got married.
I'm scared.
It wasn't a case of, I had a conversation with myself, and I was entering a new year, 2010, that this is the year I want to get married. And this man was not looking like he was ready. So I prayed, went to Kilometer, your church. After I finished my prayer, I came back that I was crossing over into the new year as a single person. I was going to expose my strong assets, my potential, my strength to other people that would be interested and not stay with the person I loved but was not ready. So I told him, it's not vex, so I know they do as they enter this new year. And as God will have it, in that new year, the same guy, we got married. So
you pressurize.
Okay, I got you. But see, I hear that, but see, that was X amount of years ago. Today, a young girl hears that, and she's calling bros. what are we doing? Because I've had a few around me too that they want to start having this conversation of, are you serious? Where are we going? And the guy is feeling, honey, take it easy. We're having fun. We know. My brother. I'll tell you, my brother is over 30. I mean, he's not yet married.
Use my life to have fun.
He gives me that feedback. Like, listen, there's a lot of people around. Just everybody wants to marry. Wants to say hello, hi. They're already thinking of everything. Everybody, Uncle, take it easy.
And
now.
the color.
It's just hello. We're still just hanging out. So he isn't ready because, you know, gosh, I shouldn't put him on the spot.
All right.
But the point,
He has not found the assets. When you jam that asset, even if she says she's not interested,
If you snooze, you lose.
You lose. So that's why the most important part is for the woman to know what
she
you
wants.
carry.
I'm not the asset to this person.
Yes, because if he's still trying to, if somebody is having fun, if they're trying to, if it is a fun thing, if he's still trying to see if you are the one, then he has not seen the value you carry. You might need to step out so that the distance will let them know whether they are.
But what happened to dating?
Let BC continue.
What happened to going to the movies?
My darling. Okay,
But what happened to dating? Right?
Okay. Let me.
Because you are 30-something years
I'll
old.
say it.
Is it that you don't want to go to the movies? You want to have late nights hanging out? You want to just party, do service, go on a boat cruise?
You just want to live.
Live, you know.
I get you.
So because I'm 30-something now, I can't do that.
I can't live again. A pastor, be coming down. So let me tell you how it worked during our time, right? I met my husband in school. When I met my husband, there was no marriage at the back of my... Though I wanted to marry early because I wanted to run away from my house. That was the reason. But there was no marriage at the back of my mind. But like she said, I think at that time, there was something in the water we were drinking as young girls. Once you know you want to marry, you are sifting the guys. You already know. I could tell from the university that this guy was husband material. I could just tell. And I knew that for every other person that came, I would... And so we continued that relationship till he finished his NYSC. He got a job by the grace of God almost immediately. He started working, started making money. I remember the first time he sent me money in the university, it was 3,000 naira mint notes. Now, so I was showing all the people that yapped me that I was dating a student. The student don't they pay, you know? And we started. Then we dated for 6 years. Then I finished NYSC, got a job.
Why would you wait with a man 6 years? Because that's not that.
You were dating.
No, we're young when we met.
Okay.
We're basically almost just a bit above teenagers, young adults when we met. So, of course, we couldn't have married at the time now. He had to finish school, I had to finish school. Then I finished NYSC. Almost immediately, I got a job. I worked 1 year. Then I was always like weekends, I would go spend time in his family house there. Everybody just loved me in the house. Then my mother called me one day. You don't have sense. Sit down. You see that house? You're not going again. I was like, Mommy, I said, I've been dating him since. He's already working. He has a car. He has bought a land. What are you people waiting for? And I know he loves you. He's always coming here because after work, he will come to my house in Ogba. He will stay till 10 p.m. before going home. Every blessed day, he'll come and mark register before going home. So my mother could see that this guy was committed to you. So you're not going there again. And I was like, Mommy, he said, I'm not releasing you. You're not going for a weekend again. So I stopped. And the guy could not understand. So weekends, he would not come to my house. He would stay Saturday. So initially, he had told his father he wanted to get married, but he wasn't 30. Right. We married very early. The father said, no, I won't let you marry till you are 30. When I believe that you are a man, that's when you get married. And he said, if I don't marry, I'll give plenty girls beleo. I'm okay, I'm ready and everything. And so I stopped. And when I stopped, he started coming. And after a while, I was like, what is it, Seth? I even have small money in the account. Let's go to Asaba. That's how we did the introduction. After introduction, I came back. I was planning to go for a weekend. My mother said, you are not going. They've not married you. It's introduction. They've not paid dowry. Yeah. That's how. The next 2 months.
So you had guidance.
Yeah. Yes, I had guidance. The next 2 months, what is it now? Why did I can't see my baby again? Traditional marriage. Koto. That was how we got married at the time. And that was also because I wanted marriage. I've always wanted to have a home that I didn't come from, right? Yeah. But what I see these days is there are a lot of young women who are not keen on getting married. Do we not tell them to stop, like you said, stop living because they are not keen on getting married? They may think, or some of them must have had relationships that they broke their heart and everything, and say, now I'm taking my time. I need 2 years to know this person. Yeah. And in Lagos, for those in Lagos, it's difficult to know people. Because you see, after work, everybody presents their representative. You don't come with your true self. Even if you date 6 years, you may not know the person you're in relation. And they say, I need time. Does it mean I will no longer snap pictures and post with my...
Exactly. That's the question.
Yes. Let's not put that sort of pressure because these people that are doing that, for those that want to get married, it's not that they are not ready to get married. They've not met the right person, or they have some issues that they need to sort through.
Or maybe the man hasn't proposed and they don't want
Like
to...
I said,
Or he doesn't even have
them
money.
as an
They don't want to
asset.
be
it's
like
my own
Tope
template.
He hasn't,
saying,
he hasn't
giving
applied.
ultimatums.
I did not give ultimatum.
You
I
did.
stepped out.
Yes,
It's the same
that's
thing.
ultimatum.
It's
now.
the same thing.
Check
because
the meaning of ultimatum in your phone.
No, I broke up. It's not ultimatum.
That's
I
ultimatum
was
now.
waiting. I'm not a confrontational person. So I could not start saying, where are we going to? But I was waiting and giving green light and observing, and it was not changing. The light was not changing.
Let me show you my own
So
story.
for me, it was a case of move on and see someone else.
If you're not going to move on.
He loves you enough to say,
Yeah.
I don't go and see someone else. I will marry you. That's ultimatum now.
But shouldn't that be what these people should be giving? Yes, if
No, but you
he's-
see,
he's
the
slacking,
ultimatum
you
is
can
a
give
problem today. You see, then it could have. That template could have worked then. But today, you can't give a young man an ultimatum.
No, it
because
depends, so.
there are options.
You will
Today,
give,
a lot of
you
young
take,
guys
they will take,
have
we take
options.
it. Do you know why they don't take it? Because they have chopped everything.
Eh.
They've squeezed
Yes,
all
now.
the milk. Wait, now there are
From
people who
different-
still don't give milk. These ones have squeezed all the milk. So when
They
you
have
give
finished
ultimatum, they're like,
everything.
what's
left?
remaining
Oh,
now?
I get the milk.
yes.
Oh, you don't do everything.
You have done everything.
No,
so
gotcha.
that kind of-
Cooking, breakfast, lunch, dinner.
Yes. For
Don't
this
do I
ultimatum
finish.
to work now, you have to hold some things.
Hey.
So even though we are dating, I want to date and do
Yeah.
selfie with you, there are places you cannot get
At
to
all.
till you put a ring on it.
Oh, gotcha.
So when the person values you and you give ultimatum, they move. They go and find that money in their account and come and pay your dowry.
You know,
Your dowry.
when I was single, I met my husband at the age of 29. He's in Nigeria. He's like, she's already getting to almost 30. And I had a list. And after I said it, I had a very clear list. I think it was 5 or 6 items on that list. I was very specific. I wanted a man from a nuclear family. I was very clear. I wanted a man that that was born and raised in OAU quarters. I was so specific. It was really ridiculously specific. I wanted a quarters boy because I just heard from somewhere that they're very responsible men. Those are every boy that is born in that place. Anyway, I wanted somebody who had graduated, who was probably a professional. I wanted the TDH, the tall, dark, and handsome. I was very clear. And there was a 5th one, I can't remember what it was. But there were 5 things on my list. And when I met my husband, he was 4. Yes, he was 4 out of everything except for the dark. It was just light, dark, light and handsome. And I'm like, that one, I was that's my mom. See, he didn't meet this on my own. Are you okay?
Are you okay?
Are you all right?
What I do with color?
4 over 5. Please, in my dream, your husband was light skinned, wasn't dark skinned. You know, but that was what even made me say, okay, let me see if that was what made me move forward. So I had a list. Because he ticked all the boxes, we had the conversation. Yeah. He was also ready. He was going through a phase. He came out of a phase. He was ready to settle down. He met somebody. He also liked. We also, we liked each other. So, but it was a conversation both of us were willing to start at the beginning.
He was ready.
He was ready.
He was ready, yeah.
He was ready. So sometimes when you hear a man of God tell you that you shouldn't be taking selfies when you're in your 30s or 40s because you should be talking seriously. You should be a purposeful relationship. You can't force a purposeful relationship. Your intention
I don't
can
agree.
be.
Why you clapping?
Your intention can be to be purposeful, but you can't force it.
On another person.
No. I am purposeful. I am purposeful enough that I will not waste my time taking selfie with you because you don't have a purpose.
But
if I meet a guy who still is not ready to be serious, he's not ready for his own purpose, but me, I'm ready for my own purpose.
He doesn't align.
I will leave you alone.
Yeah, he doesn't align.
And I will move on.
Let me take the video. Let's watch the video so that those who are watching at home know what our perspective is.
You are still doing boyfriend, snapping picture, doing selfie, 35, 36, doing selfie. When you are gradually getting close to being a grandmother, you are doing selfie. You are 38 years, somebody bought you a flower. Hey, and I put it on Facebook. When I'm 38, when the man called, yes, how are you? How can I help you? I like you. Okay, what exactly do you want? Because I don't have time to waste. I want to marry you. Okay, thank you. See my pastor, see my parents. If you say, let's be friends, well, I don't do dating. You have saved yourself of heartbreak. You have saved yourself of liver break. You have saved yourself of instant removal. You have just saved yourself of 2 years journey without direction, without motion. You have just saved yourself from you walkabout.
Behaving as if you are touch and follow. Follow. Just start following. Where the man is going, you don't know. Where you are going, you don't know. That's why you have ended up
Okay.
The man is harsh.
So what is wrong with dating?
No, there's nothing wrong with
What
dating.
is wrong in dating a
They
guy?
are
I'm
different- they are
40
different-
years old.
they are different.
Why can't I
Somebody
date?
will be dating and not sleeping with him, but they're just dating.
Dating.
hanging
You must
out.
get to know-
We
In
need to
Nigeria,
put this in
or
proper
another place.
perspective. I mean, I don't want to say we shouldn't date. I mean, a young person and a person can date no matter what age you are in.
different strokes for different folks.
So let me look
Is
at
that you should say yes? Yes. What do you
But
want?
men don't like it when you say, come and see my pastor. Come and see my mommy like that.
Why would you
Easy.
like it?
No,
No.
hold on.
A lot of guys don't like that.
Yes, so hold on.
Let's, I mean,
It reeks of
if I,
Let's
yes,
unpack this
God
a
bless
bit.
you.
Not
It
desperation.
does.
No, wait.
It reeks of desperation.
Let's unpack it a bit.
Please.
Please
They
unpack.
say, be wise as serpents, but harmless as doves. You are not going to meet somebody and say, let's go to my pastor. Let's go to my...
That's what he's saying.
There's now. He's saying it does not mean you will do it like that.
Okay.
You will use your system. So when I stopped going to my husband's house, I did not say, come and marry me. I did not mention anything about marriage. I just said, mommy said I shouldn't come again to the house. You can just come visit me and go back. I was like, why? I said, I don't know. She just feels it's not right. That was all I did. I did not say
You have
anything
communicated
extra.
to him.
Yes.
That's the needful.
Their message.
That was all I did. But because he was aligned with me, he knew the right things to do. Now, what this man is saying is, if you don't do it that way, you will meet a lot of time wasters that will just take you around, merry-go-round, and you're wasting your time. That's one hand. There's also another angle we've not looked at. The men of these days, in our time, men were ready earlier. The men of these days, wait now, be coming down. In our time, baby.
Okay,
Men
we have
of these
10
days.
years plus in marriage. I don't feel
Yes,
what are you
I'm
talking
15
about?
years in marriage, darling.
easy.
Please, it's not easy. It's not easy. I've been chopping. I've been chopping that meat for a very long time. So, the men of this day, so we're raising our girls to have so much strength and capacity, and we're gradually not paying attention to the men. The men of these days are not ready at the level the ladies are ready. And that's why we see a lot of women who will now look at married men who they consider to be more responsible, the men of these days at that age, that 30-something, they are like yoppie boys. They are not ready. So how do you now get a woman of 38 who probably is like me, who wants to marry almost her age mate, to settle with a man who is still sagging at 38 or 39, who is not ready, who is still clubbing, who is still... How do we do that? And that's where the problem is. So we have a lot of ready women, people who are ready to settle, but the men are not available. The men at that caliber and that age are not available. Most of them don't have jobs. The businesses have not peaked. All of them want to japa. There are no men to marry these women. The pastor should give us solution if there's
Okay,
men.
let me take Shola from Ikorodu. Thanks for calling,
Yeah,
Shola.
did you see all of them in the
Yeah.
video?
They
Good
still don't
morning.
get money.
Go ahead,
Good morning,
please.
Morayo.
Morning, Shola.
Good morning to all the ladies in the studio.
Morning.
Yeah, you see this topic, there are so many angles to it. Because what works for A may not work for B. And what works for B may not work for A. You see, I agree with Tokwe in some parts, and in the other parts, I did not agree with her. Because you cannot examine a man within a man you want to get married to within 2 hours and conclude that whether this one is a marriage stuff or not.
Exactly.
What if that person, you came out, you say, I want marriage, and he also say, okay, I want to marry you. And along the line, you begin to see his shortcoming, maybe after 2-3 months. Will you still go ahead to marry him or not? Or not? So that is the area in which I disagree with Tokwe.
All right, thank you, Shola.
Can. Thank you.
I just want to say something because me too, I fell into this, I want to get married quickly and this. So when I met my late ex-husband, we never talked 2 words, it's marriage. So we were married within a year of meeting each other. And we were divorced within a year or 2 years, okay, 2 years. You know, because for me, I think it was, we didn't we didn't have enough time to get to know each other.
Right.
And decipher the likes and dislikes.
Exactly. So that's where I'm going to YK. So even for the same applies to a 40-something-year-old, a 20-something, and a 30-something. You need to know the person you're married. You can't say, for my meeting you, and I don't have time for all these lovey selfie taking.
no.
I need to know where you're going immediately. You can't do that.
Since we are quoting me, let me put it in proper context. Because when you understand values, I would meet you, and in 2 hours, I know your values. I know the way you spoke to the security man. I know the way you picked up your phone and the way you were shouting at your staff. I've seen the way you behaved when you were tipping someone. I've seen your largesse, or I've seen the way I mentioned that I was walking with someone and the man held my hand, like the way he squeezed my hand when I was saying I was going. I say, this one will beat me. And we had a conversation, and in that same conversation, it was a short period. I knew from his statement that he doesn't understand why a woman should make more money than him. So there's some things you will say in a short time. If you have perspective, you will know. It's not that he's a bad person. You just know that our paths will not align. That's on one end. My husband that I married, we dated for 3 years. There's nothing wrong with dating. You see, for a woman, there's a body count. Let's tell ourselves the thing. There's body counts. You don't want to, even if you don't have anything to do with the person personally. If I follow you on social media, I saw you with Mr. Taiwo. You were doing selfie. People went to Singapore. Then you broke up with Mr. Taiwo. Then now it is Mr. Kende. After 6 months, you've done selfie on Instagram. You people went to Kenya. You broke up with Mr. Kende.
Chukwuemeka.
3 years time, it is a year time. It's Chukwuemeka. And my brother now says he wants to marry you. I'll just tell them on your Instagram. I knew Mr. Taiwo. I saw this Chukwuemeka. Are you sure this is the person you want to marry? Because you are setting a precedent. So I believe that our men should get more serious, and I also believe our women too should get more serious. As a woman, you know that I'm ready. I'm waiting to get married. They know.
Maybe Mr. Taiwo.
And if you don't want marriage, it's not every human being or every woman that wants to marry. Some people are watching this show and they're like,
they don't want
I don't even understand. I don't want to get married.
But maybe Mr. Taiwo. Bitter. So
Let me take Hassan. Good morning, Hassan.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, sir.
Please, I would like to talk to all of you. You see, when we were in school, there was a lady that the only way to get a child is to tell her that I will marry you. That is her key. And you will get whatsoever you want from her. So, you see, this issue of trying to be quick, come and see my parents, come and see my pastor. Look, there is a place in Islam that says probation. For you to know your would-be husband, and for the husband to know his would-be wife. So it's not a matter of rushing. No time is too quick, no time is too late about marriage. Because the way you are looking at marriage is not the way people are looking at it. It is better to be there for life than to go in and sticking out. That is one thing about marriage. So people have to be very careful. And what the girls are doing now, this is not getting the name. The name of what the girls are doing now is mingling. We are mingling. You understand?
I didn't get
that last word he said. But I think really, as much as I understand where Toko is coming from, where every woman, especially when you feel that you're getting to the point where you should have been married or you wanted to get married and things that happen, you should get a bit more serious. So you don't just date anyhow. I get that point. But I also don't want, because I want to get married, I shouldn't lose the beauty of dating. I shouldn't lose the beauty of enjoying relationships. If it becomes marriage, fine. If it doesn't, it's also fine.
Yeah.
Why are we making it look as if, because I have body count, suddenly we shouldn't judge people based on their body count.
I'm not judging anybody.
I know you're not. I know you're
advising.
not. I'm just advising that, especially people who want to take this thing serious, marriage seriously, should be also serious in their dating. But I also don't like how the pastor.
Yeah, the pastor was a bit harsh.
Yes, it was a bit harsh.
It was very harsh, and I don't want judging. We don't want to judge.
What if you have this boyfriend and you really like him, and he has promised you marriage and everything, and then maybe 3 years down the line, he now breaks up with you. Are you going to say that you shouldn't have gone into that?
Life happens.
I know someone who had a boyfriend and she really liked him. He didn't marry. He says the girl was do this, she was do that. She still hasn't found love, because she still loves that one.
You come and take therapy session with BC.
So
Yeah.
what I
We
want
have to wrap
yes,
it. Let's have your comments on social media.
You're not lover girls.
Who told you? Have you met me?
No,
I have never been mushy.
Leave what you are
My
saying.
entire, see, and again, it could be from where I come from. I've never been mushy. And if I had met a guy who is head over heels over me and mushy, I would probably be irritated. Probably would have been irritated. You know, so I'm not the mushy type. You know, but I think I met somebody who. Both of us are very compatible and we understand each other.
You're both not mushy and you're good.
Yeah, we are both not mushy and we're good.
But this one is saying she should go and take therapy with BC.
I'm mushy. I'm mushy. Forget the strong voice.
I didn't say when you are.
So,
I mean,
no, wait.
Carrying me. What kind of human beings are you?
No. Look at our life now to tell. Relax. We are having conversation.
You met Mr. Mark. You know.
You know already.
God,
So I think people should be allowed to live their lives. I've also seen people who married early. So for us, we were lucky to marry people who did not stifle our dreams, who allow us fly anytime we're ready to fly. Some people get that married very early and they're not able to live their dreams. The man just, everything is no. This is the idea I have of you. You're supposed to just tend my kids, tend the home and be a woman, you know. And other people will feel, I did not have that experience of traveling. I did not have that experience. So at some point I was thinking, I didn't see the world before I got married. I didn't travel, but you know, somehow I'm doing that today. But some people may also never have the opportunity to do that again, and marriage just puts that ceiling on them. I think people should just do what's best for them. And we should help our men to be more ready. I don't see a lot of ready men because these women will not marry themselves.
Okay, comments on social media?
He said, yes. Corey Michael says the pastor is speaking from a Christian viewpoint. After all, fornication is a sin. That is what he is saying. Andrew in Chatham says, Talkways on a project management cycle. Reb 360. Style. And Crown Band is telling us the last word that Hassan said was, he said mingling, the last word.
Okay.
BC Olabisi says, Alera, none of these ladies has clocked 40
They've been
except
arguing my
Morayo
age
and our Auntie YK.
Oh,
They've
really?
been arguing my age, yes.
Yeah, don't worry.
Right,
You will soon find that.
So I think we have to wrap up on this.
BC is 16.
I think
Marketing with Fumi, sorry, says, I cutted my hobby for like 3 months and
Got pregnant?
got pregnant. We were ready.
Wow.
that was the pregnancy made
Yes,
them.
They were ready.
I mean, different strokes for
different
different
strokes,
folks. I
yeah.
mean, we all have different experiences.
They are guessing your ages. Tokpa is 38.
Oh! Brian wants to conclude.
I would like to conclude. I think, in a nutshell, different strokes for different folks. I mean, the truth is that we all have different experiences. But the reason why we wanted to discuss what the pastor was saying is because we didn't want to we wanted to have both sides of the conversation. Yes, if you're mature single, it's important for you to date, have fun, but in that, be very conscious of what you want and be clear. And some can say, you know, I don't want to get married, and it's perfectly okay. And those who actually want to get married, don't just let anybody let them see your asset. If they don't value the asset Tokpa talked about earlier, move on to the next person. Don't let anybody padlock you and waste your time. But if you're in that space where it's not about that, I want to have fun, I want to enjoy my time, it's also okay. At the end of the day, you're an adult, and we're all adults. You make the decision that is best for us in every situation that you find yourself.
That's the best thing you've said. That make the decision that is best for you.
All right, that's all.
Not best for your pastor or best for that person comments.
That is all we can take on today's show.
YK.
Get out.
See you tomorrow. Bye for now.
Oh my God.
You see why we cannot